Just waiting for just 1 or 2 minutes so that others can join. So in the last class, we were discussing about these agents, and we have also covered what are possible agents, what are responsible agents, and what are actual agents. As well, we have tried to figure out how to fetch the agents dynamically. So through backend, these agents are maintained in the backend table. Like all these maintenance is done by functional people. They maintain these agents according to some keys, primary keys, and the workflow will fetch the agents from the table at runtime and will populate that agents in the user decision step or the dialog step dynamically, and that item will be sent to those users at runtime. So this is how the workflow behaves. But today we will be discussing about the levels, suppose at first level one user id is maintained, and at second level two users id are maintained based on suppose some company. So we will see how we can build that particular table and how we can build that particular workflow. So first we will try to create one table in which we will be having three fields. First one will be the company code, and the second level, and third will be user id. So in company code you can have more than one key or as well, but here I will be taking company code. So for suppose 9000 level 1, suppose LKDI is maintained, and suppose 9001 at level 1, suppose Kumar K is maintained, and in the same company code in the 9001 itself, in the level 2, suppose Priyanka and LKDI is maintained. So we will see how it actually works and how it goes by the level, and how the end of the workflow comes out when the level ends. So you will have to be familiar with some ABAP code and the logic part so that you can write the logic. So first we will try to create one table. Let's move on to create one table. In field section, I will be providing three fields. First will be the company code, and data element is bookers. Next will be the EMP level. It will be char1. Now we can have user ID, and here we will be having the. So just make all the fields as key element, because suppose company code is 9000, employee level is 1, and user ID is LKDA. For these three combination, we are not going to maintain it again. So these three fields will become as the key. Now going to the technical settings. It has got activated. Now I will maintain some data. Suppose for 9000 employee level is 1 and suppose user ID is LKDIA. Save it. Okay, it has got wrongly saved. Fine. We will maintain the table entries again. It will be 9000 for 1, user ID will be LKDIA. Save it. Now suppose we are having some different companies and at level 1 again suppose Kumar K is maintained, and for 9001 only. For level 2 we are maintaining LKDIA, and for the same level I am also maintaining Priyanka. So now let us see what are the entries. Just forget this first entry. Start with the second entry. For 9000 we have at the first level we have LKDIA, in 9001 in the first level we have Kumar K, and in 9001 for the second level we have 2 entries. So first we'll try with 9000, then the item should be sent to only LKDIA and the loop and the workflow should get ended. Now for 9001 it will move for the first level, it will go to Kumar K. Once Kumar K approves, then only it will go to LKD and Priyanka. So once he approves, the work item will be lying with 2 user ID because 2 users are maintained for the same level. So this is how multi-level works. Suppose 2 user ID are maintained for the second level, so these 2 user ID will be receiving the work item once Kumar Ki approves. So this is how it behaves, the levels. For the same company, you can see for the 9001 only, for first level Kumar Ki and for second level 2 user IDs are maintained. So now we will try to build one workflow. In first step, we will create one activity step. Okay, before that, we should first make one method in which we will be fetching the agents out of this table. So first let us make the method. Now here first we will have some parameter within this. The parameter will be, the importing parameter will be company, company code and the level, and the exporting parameter will be X agents. So we will have the parameter. First we will have company code. It will be of type importing. Then we will have level. It will also have as an importing. Now as an exporting, we will have agents. So this agents will be of table type. So I think it was PGF employee only. Let me check out. Yeah, it is. So here we have got three parameters. First one was company code, level, and the third one was X agents. So we will be importing two parameters, two fields, and then based on that fields we will be fetching the data from the database, and then we will be populating the agents in the X agents tab. So coming to the method again, now we will be writing some few codes over here. Now here you can see I have tried to fetch the data, the agents from the table called Z Dynamic, and with the help of this company code, and here it will be level as well. Okay, no, here I don't require, but yes, here I will be require where level emp level is equal to emp level. So now save it. No, now what we are trying to do here is, suppose level is 1. I'm just passing level as 1 from the external, from the outside workflow to this method, and company code as a 9000. So what will happen? Let's see, let us test what it's actually returning. Give 9000 and level as 1. Now debug. Let's see what's it's returning. We have at level 1 LKDA for company 9000, as we have maintained it accordingly. So here we have got this. Now let us see what we have in X agents. Okay, so in X agents we will be having US LKDA. Fine, so we are done with this, but now the problem will be, here you are getting the first level. Okay, so now when you are incrementing it, suppose you have incremented the level to 2. Now you want to search whether that level exists or not in the database table. So what will happen if you search for the data for that particular level in the database? So while building you will face some problem. Let me show you what will be the problem. For that, what we will have to do, we will have to first check, means before once this step is executed, below this we will be checking whether the next level exists or not. If the next level exists, then it's fine. If it doesn't, then we have to populate, suppose, one parameter called final, and we will just pass one checked value like x to that final, and we will just end that loop based on this final variable. So let me show you what to do next. Here till this, any questions, like whatever we did here, we have just tried to fetch the agents. And why I have used this table type, I will tell you why we have used this table type, why we need this employee level as well, because we will be checking whether the next level exists or not in this particular table, this internal table. If the next level exists, then it's fine. If not, then we will just check that final variable just to ensure that the final level has been reached. So any question till this? Fine. So here we will be writing some few more code. Read table X agent here. First what we will be doing, we will be first incrementing the level is with +1. Here we have just incremented and declare one data type. So what we have tried to do here is, we have just incremented this level by 1, and we are trying to read whether that particular level exists for that particular company or not, because in this select we have fetched according to the company all the levels in user ID. Suppose we have 1 for LKDA and suppose we have 2 for Kumar K. So what will happen, 1 for LKDA has been populated here because this employee level was containing 1. So therefore for 1 we have populated here LKDA, but for 2 we need to check whether for next level, that is for 2, the IDs exist or not. If it doesn't exist, then we will just populate one variable. So we will see if size sub rc is not equal to 0, end it. So now for this we will first have to make one exporting parameter as final, and in this method we will just populate that final. That's it. So now what will happen? It will increment and see whether agents exist or not. If not, then loop will be complete. The workflow will be completed. So till this, any doubt? Because we have done with our method, now we will be building our workflow. Fine. So now we'll build our workflow. This was the workflow which we were trying to build. Now I will create one activity step where I will be fetching this, where I will be associating this method with the step, activity step. I'm just showing you the one scenario. You can modify it at any extent. You can just do whatever logic you want to do, just depending upon the requirement. You can just build up. You just have to apply the logic. That's it. Because this is just designing part. The logic and the designing both combines becomes the workflow. So this is how you have to do it. Because once we start developing the workflow, we first make the flow charts according to the requirement, and then we start building the workflow. First we determine what will be the container elements, what will be the input, output, everything. Then we just try to make the workflow. So here I have just associated this particular method with the activity step, and in container we can see we were having some few fields present here in this method. So what we will be doing, we will be just, because I have just checked the transfer missing elements which were just proposed by the SAP by default, so I have just clicked on yes. So what happened, once I have clicked on yes, all the variables have got populated or created at the task level automatically. So I don't need to create it again. So it has already got created. What I need to do is the binding. So first I will be doing the binding. So you can see here company code and the level will be passed from the task to the method, and the task will be responsible to fetch the agents, and it will return it as the exporting parameter. So company code and the level will be done in the upper section, and this X agents and the final will be done in the lower section. So you can see the binding. So I'm just waiting for just 1 or 2 minutes. So now for this we will first, so what we will be doing to get the dynamic agents. Means I have already shown you. Can anybody tell me what I have to do in user decision steps? I'm just telling you I have to create next one user decision step. So what I will do with this X agents to make it dynamic, to make that user decision steps dynamic. Just raise the hands. Yes, Rajesh. Rajesh, your voice is not
We
clear.
have to assign the agents over there.
Where?
We have to assign the agents over there.
Where?
Over the activity part.
Activity in user decision
User
step.
decision.
Yeah, where we have to assign. Let me create one.
Yeah.
Let me create and just tell me where I need to assign. Where I need to assign that agents. Tell me.
Over the agent's expression over here.
Okay, good. So here we need to assign the agents to make it dynamic. So Rajesh, you were correct. So what we will be doing here, we will be pressing F4 help. So what will happen, where this particular variables will be shown as a in the pop-up, and we need to only select this X agents in the expression tab, because in the first step we are getting all the agents, or that first step is responsible to fetch all the agents, and it is returning those agents in the workflow. So in this workflow, in the mother workflow, we are having all the agents in this X agents variable. So what we are doing in the next step, to make it dynamic, we are just populating this X agents in the expression tab, so that whatever X agents, whatever values or whatever user IDs which are present in this X agents will get receive this work item. So once I will complete this, maybe the people who are not clear with it will get clear. I'm just trying to populate this dynamic value as well, so that for this level you will be getting clear at what level you have got this value. So I'm just in parameter 1, I have added this level. Just save it. Fine. So in the next level I will be creating one in the next step I will be creating one container element, where I will be incrementing the value of the level, because we need to increment the value. Suppose for the first level we have got the value, now for the second level the user should be fetched. Once I will complete, I will show you what I'm just actually trying to do. Select the EMP level as the result, and the assignment will be equal to, and in expression just select EMP level and do the operator as addition, and here in expression 2 it will be 1. So I'm just incrementing this employee level by 1, and I'm just populating in the same variable. So when this step get executed, the level will be incremented by 1 in the continuous step. Now what I have to do is to create one loop, because that loop will rotate once this level or the final whatever we are returning from the method comes out to be checked. So I will have to create one loop. So here exit loop, just give the step name and create the condition. Here choose in expression choose the final, and in the operator choose equal to, and in constant choose checked. So whenever the final will be checked, the loop will end, and if it is false, then the loop will pass. Give the true false value. Now you will have to cut each block and will have to paste within this loop. I will just explain you once again everything. Now let me explain you what I'm trying to do here. First, I'm trying to execute this first activity, first step, where I'm just fetching the agents based on the company code and the level. So we are having this company code and the level in the workflow container itself. So here in company code, I will be passing it externally, and in employee level, I'm just trying to set this, the default value will be suppose 1. Suppose we are having default value as the 1. So now what will happen, we have two values. First is company code, and in level we are having suppose 1, and in company code we are suppose having 9000. So for 9001, this step will get executed, and when this step get executed, it will ultimately execute the method, the underlying method, where two parameters are passed, and in that method, based on these two parameters, I am trying to fetch the agents from the database table. So these agents are populated in this activity step, and it is returning to the workflow in and populating those IDs in XAgents variable. Now in the next step, in user decision step, whatever IDs I have fetched, I have just dynamically binded it with the expression tab, and those agents will be receiving this work item. Suppose at first level we have received the, suppose I have received the work item. Now once I approved it, this container operation will get executed and the level will be incremented by 1. Suppose it has now become 2. Now this loop, it has some condition called final. So this final was checked in this activity step itself. So it will first check for the 9000, and in this activity we were checking for the next level as well. So for the level 2, and in the for the company code 9000, we were not having any user ID, so the final will be checked. So once it comes out here and check the condition, so it will check that final has become checked, so it will just complete this loop and will complete the workflow. So for this is what we are having for the first company, that is 9000. Now let me tell you how it will behave for the 9001. Let me show you in the data browser as well. So you can see here for 9000, for the first level we are having only Lcadia. So once this method will be executed, and it will just increment that level in the method itself, and it will see whether the next level exists or not. If not, then it will just check the final and it will return to the workflow, and in the loop we are checking with that final variable, so it will come out to be checked and it will complete the workflow. So let me first show you how it behaves for the first 9000, then I will show you how it behaves for the 9001. So let me execute this. Just make this company code as importing and exporting, because once that SAP default binding is done, it doesn't become as import and export by default. You have to make it. Also you will have to check the binding again, because I think binding maybe have missed. Okay, it's there. As well check in the method. So you can see in method we are passing company code and the level, and in exporting we are fetching the X agents value and the final value. So this final will be ultimately be reached to this workflow, and this loop is binded with this final value. So once this final comes out to be checked, the workflow will get completed. So now what I have to do is to execute. I will execute it. Suppose we are passing the value for the company code as 9000. We have passed this 9000, and the employee level comes out as got the default value as 1. So now execute it. Now first I will first I will take you to the workflow log. Now you can see here in workflow log, first the step fetch dynamic workflow was executed, where we have got the agents, and in the next step which was the user decision step. So there these agents are ready. Let us see what agents we have got. You can see here in agents LKDIA is present. So how we have got this LKDIA? Tell me how you have got this LKDIA. Anybody? Yes, Rajesh.
In the loop, it is finding out for setting a flag, no? So if that agent is getting, it is going further ahead.
No, in this fetch dynamic workflow, which was the activity step where we were having one method called fetch dynamic. So here this method was actually responsible to fetch this X agent. So in the container element, you can see here we are having one entry called USLKDIA. So we have passed this 9000 as a company code and the employee level as 1. So once we have passed this, the method has actually executed keeping these two as the importing parameter, and it has executed that method and returned USLKDIA as the exporting parameter, and it has also checked this final variable because the next level doesn't exist in this table.
Okay.
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 So now that LKDIA has received this work item. So once I will approve that, the workflow will get completed, because now let me take you to the graphic section first. Just try to understand it. If you are not able to, ask me, because I'm just discussing the important portion of workflow. This is a real-time scenario I have taken from my company itself. So just try to understand what I'm trying to do here. Here in the first step I have executed, this first step has got executed, which is responsible to fetch the agents from the database, and you can see here in the next step it is in ready state because that X agents was having the value as LKDIA. So I have only received this work item. Also this first step has checked that final variable because the next level doesn't exist in the database, and we have written the logic accordingly that we have just incremented. Let me show you that logic as well. Here you can see we have fetched the agents first, and then we have just populated with US concatenated and populated with agents. Now here you can see we have incremented the value with +1. I have just tried to read it, and if it is not equal to 0, if size bar says not equal to 0, we have just checked this final. It actually ensures you whether the next level exists or not. If it doesn't, then it will complete the workflow. This is just only the part of the logic which I have written over here. So here in workflow graphic, you can see it is pending with LKDIA. Now what I will do, once I approve it, let me go to the business workplace. In the workflow tab, let me tell you, Rajesh, you were just asking the question. In the workflow tab, this particular all the items have been grouped into different categories, so you don't have to worry about it if it goes to the generic task. But if you are asking about the send mail step, then that particular, whenever that step is executed, whatever notification you get in document section, not in workflow section. In workflow section we only get work items, and in document section you can see here these are the notification messages. So whenever send mail step get executed, you get the mails in documents tab, and whenever some dialog step get executed, then the work items you receive in workflow tab. So it just get categorized. Suppose for the same task you have more than 10 items, so what will happen, accordingly to the task it will be grouped. So this is just a grouping, nothing else. So whatever items you want to see, you can just click on this workflow tab, it will be shown there. So in this, let me go to that same whatever I was discussing. So here in the workflow tab, I have received one items because it was lying with me. Now once I execute this and take the action, let's see what happens. I have taken the action. Now going to the workflow log, let's see. Refresh it. You can see here the status had got to be completed. You can see here it has got completed. Why? Let us see the graphic. You can see the loop has got true and it has got ended. The workflow has got ended. Now let us see, go to the technical log. First we will see one by one. First, the fetch dynamic workflow, which was responsible to fetch the agents, got executed, and it has returned this X agents as one entry. It was LKDR, and it has also returned final as checked. Now in the second, I have received the work item. This was a user decision step, the dynamic agents level 1. So this was a user decision step. I have received this work item. Once I have received it, the container operation has incremented the value to 2, and when this loop has got executed, you can see it has written as true. So because we have the condition final is equal to checked in the loop, so final is equal to checked because this method has returned that final equal to checked, so this loop has comes out to be true and the workflow was completed. So in level 1 we have completed the workflow. Any doubt till this? Because next we will be seeing how it behaves with 9001, how it goes to second level. So till this, any doubt? So now we will see how it behaves for 9001. First let me show you in the database browser what we have for 9001. You can see here in 9001 for level 1 we have Kumar K, and for level 2 we are having two user ID, LKD and Priyanka. So what will happen, at the first level only Kumar K will receive the work items. When Kumar K approves, suppose manager has approved it, and in the next level two partners exit, LKD and Priyanka. So the work item will automatically go to those two partners, and whenever one partner out of these two execute that work item, the work item will get disappear from the inbox of both users. So it will just get disappear from the both users because the instance is same but IDs are different. So if any one of the IDs execute that particular instance, then that instance will get completed and it will get disappear from the inbox of others users. So here if LKDR take the action, then it will get disappear from Priyanka's inbox. Now, and you can see here we are having only two level 1 and 2, and the next level doesn't exist. So once this LKDR will receive the work item, the final will be checked because the next level doesn't exist, and the loop will end once this LKDR execute the work item. So now let us test with this value. Let me change this company code 9001 and suppose level is 1. So let's see what happens. I have executed the workflow. Now I will go to workflow log and we'll see with whom it's pending. Now can anybody tell me with whom it will be pending with, because according to this database browser, database table, can anybody tell me? I'm just trying to know whether you are understanding or not this particular example. With whom the task will be lying with. I have given the value as 9001 and the employee level as 1. This 9001 and the employee level 1. So based on this, yes Rajesh?
It will be lying with K Kumar.
Yeah, correct. Some other people were also correct. So this, now let me see in the agents. You can see here it's lying with Kiran. So it is Kumar K. So here we have, now what I will do, I will approve with this ID and we'll see what happened. You first let me show you in the graphic. You can see it is pending with Kumar K. So once it will be approved, this loop will get executed. In between we are having one container operation, but it is not shown in this graphical log. So that container operation will increment the level value. So level will comes out to be 2. So this loop will then get executed. Then loop will actually returns the false. It won't get turned into true. Why? Because in workflow log, let me show you, final has not become checked because we are having second level. see here in the container is not checked because we are having in second level we are having user IDs, so that's the reason final was not checked. So let me first go to the ID of Kumar K so that we can approve this particular item. So here in inbox, in workflow, you can see this Kumar K has received this ID, sorry, this work item. So what I will do, I will just execute this and will show you what will happen next. So you can now let me move on to the workflow. Now refresh it. You can just see what happened next. Kumar K has executed that step, then the container operation got executed, this increment, so the level has got turned out to be 2. Now this loop has returned false value because final was not checked. Then again loop has just passed and it has got rotated, and now the step which was responsible to call this X agents was again executed. And here in X agents you can see in container what we are having 2 entries, because in employee level for 2 we were having 2 entries in the data, and that was US Lkdia and Priyanka. And also you can see final value has got checked because third level doesn't exist, so it has returned the checked value, so that once any of these 2 ID execute that particular step, then the workflow will get completed. So now let us see in agents also with whom it's pending with. You can see 2 IDs are there, LKD and KE. This K is Priyanka only because it shows you the name. So here you can see what we are having. So what I will do indirectly, I will move on to Lkdia Business Workplace. So I'm having my business workplace open, I think so. Okay. So I will move on to my business workplace and will approve the same. You can see here level has come out to be 2. This was a dynamic value which I was populating. So once I double click on it and double click on it, this approve, so the workflow will get executed. Now I will show you in workflow log what happened. Refresh it. Now you can see the workflow has got completed. In the status you can see completed, so the loop has turns out to be true and it has got completed. Let me show you in technical log. You can see here in the last this exit loop, it has turned out to be true, so the loop has got executed. Now going to the graphic, just try this by yourself so that you can understand in a more better way. You can see here it is loop and finally it has got exited, so the workflow has got completed. So any question on this? I have just tried very hard to explain you, but I don't know whether you understood or not. Hello?
I've got few questions like, for example, if we are practicing this scenario, we are having only one ID. For example, I'm having ID of Rajesh only, and for other IDs like you have created 2-3 IDs.
So you can
So how
create
to?
a number of IDs in SU01.
No, but for approval purpose, it will have a problem, no?
Is it your system? Like, are you asking about this test
Yeah.
server?
Yeah, no, I'm asking about my system
So
itself.
you have access, if you have access to this SU01D and everything, then you can just create the IDs like SU01.
Okay, creating IDs and
Give the authorization whatever you are having, like SAP all. Suppose you want to create, like here just create, enter the name and go to create, and in the profile, and suppose here in the profile, in the roles, just give whatever role you are having, and in the profile whatever role you are having, like SAP all and SAP new, just give it, so that particular person will be eligible to approve.
okay.
Okay.
So for that we need to have SAP IDs, no? for
Yeah,
approval
SAP
that
ideal.
purpose. Or
That
in
is
case
mandatory.
in case otherwise if I'm having a one ID, so then level one I'll put my name, and the second level also I can put my name and
See, if
I'll
you're
execute
putting
that
it,
thing
that's
also.
fine. But actually, if you're having 2 or 3 IDs, you can ensure that okay, it is going with 2 or 3 IDs. I think while
Okay.
practicing, it will be good if you go with this 2 or 3 IDs. It is very simple to create IDs. If you have authorization, you can create
Okay.
IDs.
Okay. I'll try that.
Okay, just
Thank you.
try this example because it will help you to learn more about this workflow. Yes, Praveen.
Yeah, as you said, it is like a live scenario. Even in user decision, we can add a reject step also. No? In any level, it is rejected, then mail should go
Yeah, you
that it
can
is
build
rejected
email.
and
Yeah, correct.
workflow is completed. Like
Correct, you can do that.
yeah.
You can do
Um,
that. You can just build it. Like I told you that you can extend it any extent. You can just build this
okay.
workflow to any requirement. I just told you how to work with this level, dynamic levels. The main motive was to show you how to work with this dynamic level because in companies there is more than one level approval. So I was just trying to show you how you can make it dynamic. You can extend it at any extent. Once I will show you this WebDyn Pro, you can see how like if this particular workflow will get launched, like we will be having approve and reject button. So once you click on approve, what will happen, and once you click on reject, what will happen. So I won't be showing you the full full integration part, but I will tell you, you can just try it yourself, and I will just tell you how to work with it and what to use, what function module to use to interact with the workflow and WebDyn Pro. So this particular scenario is the base of everything. So now you can just try anything over it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Any other question?
Can you just show the painting part with the task to method
Sorry,
workflow
sorry,
to
your voice is breaking. Sorry.
can you just show me the binding part?
Okay. Let me show you. First step binding. This first step binding.
Yeah, total workflow to
Okay,
the task
total.
and task to
Okay,
method.
okay. In first step, we are having a binding. You can see in the binding, we are first giving this company code and level, and we are just flowing it from workflow to this particular task. So this company code and the level we were passing from outside. This has got passed to this particular task, and let me first show you the inflow then outflow. Okay, so this was the inflow of company code and level. Now going to the task and this binding from task to the method. This particular company code and level was flowed from this task to the method. Now this method has got the importing parameter, this company code and level. So it has just used this particular variables and has fetched X agents and final. So this X agent and final was exported from method to the task. Now from task to the method to the workflow, let us see. In the binding from the task to the workflow, this X agents was passed from the task to the workflow. This was the first step binding. Any question on this first step binding?
No.
Okay.
Okay, thank
In the
second step.
in the next step, we were just having this X agents, because in the first step we have got this X agents in the workflow, because this task has returned it to the workflow. So we have binded it to the workflow container X agents, and in employee level we were having it as the dynamic value, so that I can know at which level I have received it, and we were having one decision. So this was the next step binding, and in third step I was just incrementing this employee level by 1. I was like, this is similar to a equal to a plus 1, that is similar to that. And in the loop step I was having this final variable as checking value as a condition value. If it comes out to be true, then the loop will end, and if it comes out to be false, then the loop will pass. This was the total binding which I did it. Okay, Venkat?
Okay.
So do you have any problem with this base logic? You can just write anything in this logic part in the method. Just if you want to fetch the agents on some different way, so you can do it anything with this. But yes, the base will be same. How to fetch the agents? You will have some importing parameter if you are using some database table, and you will have some exporting parameter. So this was the total flow. So actually in real time scenario, we don't use this user decision step. In our company we are using WebGen Pro screen. So what we do here, we just make one activity step in the last class which I shown you, and with this dummy method, and once that step is executed, one WebGen Pro screen get launched, and that screen will have some two variables. So will have two buttons called approve and reject, as well that component. So once I click on approve, I will be using one function module provided by SAP WAPI to complete the work item or to take some other action. So just to interact with this WebGen Pro and workflow, we need the SAP standard function modules so that we can just interact with this workflow. So this was the total base scenario. Now I will be showing you the next how you can fetch these agents based on this role. Yes, Ramana?
Yeah, is there any like still now you said like using a function model, right? SWU workflow and so event something like that. Start workflow and all. So is there any wrapper class for that to trigger events? Yeah, to trigger the workflow.
Yeah, this about this function modules and class I will be discussing in troubleshooting section. Once I go through this troubleshooting and debugging section, I will be showing you what all function modules are available with the help of which you can actually interact with this workflow.
Yeah, I mean instead of that function module, SAP has provided any classes like
Classes we are having classes for this sending notification. This BCS class is available. So this BCS class has number of methods you can use it. And for this function module, we generally use this function modules for this completion of this workflow, like this forward work item, like it's provided by SAP WAPI. You can just have this asterisk. A number of function modules are available provided by this SAP WAPI. So we take the help of, generally we take the help of this SAP WAPI function module only. And for this sending this notification, we take the help of BCS class. And because that function module which we have used for sending the notification, this send notification API, it is good, but if you have some attachments with that particular function module, so that attachment has some limited length, so you won't be able to send very big Excel sheet or big length attachment. So if you use this BCS class method, it is very simple. You just have to call those methods of that class, and everything is done in that method, that are predefined methods. So you will have just to attach the document. It will just send that document to the respective user. So that BCS class, you can just explore it more.
yeah, already worked on it, so no issue with that. Okay, thank you.
So about these function modules, I will be discussing in later section. So first, let me complete this agents. So in first, let me show you what are the agents available. Let's go to user decision step, and in expression tab, just scroll up and let me show you what all we are having here. First one is role, second one is rule, third is org unit, then we are having job, position, work center, and this user is nothing but you just, if you select this and you just hard code it here, LKDIA, then it will go to LKDIA. This is a hard code. And in expression, it is just the one way to get the dynamic agents. And in workflow initiator, it will go to workflow initiator. This is what we are always using. So these three you are familiar with. What we have to discuss is this org unit, job, position, work center. So these four I will be discussing on Friday. So I will be completing this org structure on Friday. I will be creating one org unit in PPOM in HR section. So everything I will be first creating, and then I will be binding it with this workflow, and will be showing you how this can be binded and how that users associated with this job and position receives the work item. So these this four section will be discussed on Friday, and this rule will be discussed tomorrow, because we are having this rule by responsibility and rule by function module. So two methods are there, one is static and another is dynamic. So these about this rule tomorrow we will be discussing. Also we will be discussing something called multi-line agents, and I will tell you the real-time scenario when we need this multi-line agents and ad hoc assignment. So today first we will be completing role, as we have completed this expression, because I have shown you how to fetch the agents dynamically. I have given you two examples on it. In the last class I have given one example, and today was the very good example, the big scenario. Now I will be discussing about this role. The users who are being associated with some roles, how they will receive the work items. So let me tell you the example, real-time example. Let me complete this because I've changed it. So first let me tell you what is this role and how to use it. So like suppose in a company I want that work item should be sent to only managerial role. So if you know that in companies many roles are being created, suppose for manager, for partner. So what you have to do is, like for manager role we are having suppose 10 managers associated with, means 10 managers are having that particular role. So what I need to do is I will be associating that work item with that role, suppose managerial role. So all the managers who are having this role will receive the work items. So first, to create the role, I will have to move to the transaction PFCG. So in this screen, we will be creating one role. Suppose Z. Manager, suppose DFM role. Suppose I'm having one DFM role, divisional finance manager, and just click on this single role. These roles will be created by the basis people. You don't have to worry about it, but yes, you should know how it is created. That's the reason I'm showing you. Even that org structure will be created by HR people. You don't have to create it yourself, but still I will show you how it is created, because the workflow people, the problem is you should know everything. Even if it is not your job, still you will have to know some basic things is must. Like if you're working with CRM system also, then also you should know about this BP, how these business partners are created. So just basic knowledge is sufficient. Rest you can just have this workflow knowledge. So this is how this role is created. So the advantage of working in workflow team is, like you will have the knowledge of all the domains, because workflow is cross application. It is not associated with only one module, because in every modules we have this workflow. So if you are into workflow, you can have the knowledge of every modules. So I have just given this description, and in user I'm just creating the users who are having this role. Suppose LKDIA, and here Kumar K. Suppose two user IDs are having this role. Save it, go back. So in this particular role, in this authorization section and this menu, these are taken care by the basis people. You don't have to worry about it. This authorization and everything is given by the basis. I was just concerned with the users because I want to show you whether these users are receiving the work items or not. So I have just shown you this particular transaction because if suppose at support point of view, if that particular user is not receiving the work item based on that role, so you can just move on to this role PFCG transaction and can see whether that particular ID is maintained against this role or not, instead of going with sending mails to these basis guys and just telling them, asking them whether this role is associated. You can yourself even can see it. So this helps you if you have the knowledge in debugging the workflow. So I have associated these two IDs with this particular role, and then what I will have to do is I will create one new workflow. Let me create one new workflow. So here I will be creating one user decision step. Once you're familiar with this agent assignment, so you can do anything with this, everything about on your logic part, your logical reasoning, you can do anything with these agents. So I will be creating one user decision step. So here I have given title as a role. In workflow, in this expression tab, I will be selecting this role, and here I will be giving this CGFM. Just remember, this is case sensitive. If you don't provide in the similar case, then it won't recognize. So it was in caps, I hope so. Yes, it was in caps. So I have given in caps. Now I am having decisions. So save it. So I have attached that particular role with this user decision step. So all the users associated with this role will actually receive the work item. So we were having LKD and Kumar K associated with that DFM role. So these two IDs will be receiving the work item. So let me execute this. Now I will go to workflow log and will show you who all have received this work items. So going to the agents, these agents we are having two IDs, Kumar K and LKT. So you can see how we have received the work item once this role was associated with that expression tab. So in companies we use it actually, somewhere we use it, suppose that work item should be only sent to managers. So you can just directly bind it with that manager role, no problem with that. And all the IDs which are associated with this manager role will receive the work items. So any doubt on this? So this was how we have created the agents. Now we have some few more things over here, like we have this rule. So let me tell you some. Today I will just tell you about brief description of this rule, and then in practical I will show you tomorrow. So this rule, the transaction to move to this rule is PFAC. Here, like we are having this workflow number, task number, like 97900, 8-digit number. So in rule also, whenever this rule is created, we have one system generated number. System generated number is gets generated with this same prefix number which we have configured in this SWU3. So you can see in workflow, in task, we are having prefix number as 979. So you can see in workflow builder, we are having prefix 979. This 3-digit number is system configured in SWU3. So in this, whenever this rule is created, this prefix 979 is generated with addition to 5-digit number. So this total, like whenever the rule get executed, we get this 8-digit number. Let me show you. You can see here we are having 97900138139. So these are the rule number. So this rule, whenever we execute this rule, we have some options how you can execute this rule. Suppose I am executing this rule based on some function module. So in that function module, I will be fetching the agents, and that agents will be default get populated in the expression tab, and that agents will receive the work items. So this rule for this function module, we have two importing parameters as a table section, that is AC container and actor tab. These two fields are by default. You have to create these two fields in the FM and then bind that FM with this particular rule. Let me first show you the already created rule, because tomorrow I will show you how to create. Once I select this, in the rule definition, we give the abbreviation and the name, and in category, you can see here we have number of options available here. So we don't use others, rather we use only function to be executed and the responsibilities. So two ways are actually used. First one is responsibilities, that is a static way to fetch the agents, and the second is function to be executed. So in the lower section, you can see here we are having one function module called ZAgentFM. So first we will have to create one FM, and then we will bind this FM with this rule, and then the number will get generated. You can see here we are having one number called 979000138. So we will just copy this number and will paste it on in workflow builder in the user decision step after selecting this rule. So we will just paste it here, and then the users which are fetched in that particular rule will get populated and will receive the work items. So here if I do this, then this particular rule gets binded, and then the agents will receive the work items. So as we are having this workflow container, task container, so similarly we are also having this rule container. So where is that rule container? Let me show you. In this container tab, you can see we are having this rule container. So you can create the elements in this rule container, and in workflow through this binding, in this binding section, you can actually transfer the data from workflow to the rule container. Similarly, like we do in activity step, we just pass the data from workflow to the task and from task to the method. Similarly here, from the workflow to the rule and from rule to the FM. So this is how it behaves. Like if you're passing workflow container elements to the rule container elements, and from the rule container elements we are passing it to the FM. So that binding is done over here. We will be doing the binding here. And now let me show you what two mandatory parameters are there in FM. Whenever you are creating the FM that will be associated with this rule, should have some mandatory parameter in the table section. In this table section, we should have these two mandatory parameters, that is AC container and actor tab. In AC container, we have all the variables whichever we have created in this rule container will get populated in this AC container. So in this FM, we will be reading this AC container table and will get the value. Like suppose if I'm passing company code from the workflow to the rule container, so in this AC container that company code will be there. I will be just reading this AC container and will get the value of company code. Now, based on that company code value, I have fetched some agents, and that agents will get populated in this actor tab. So what happens in this rule, this actor tab is by default binded with this expression. So whatever agents you are populating in this actor tab will automatically receive the work items. You don't have to do any of the binding explicitly. You will just have to associate that rule number with that rule, and then the actor tab will get automatically binded with that rule. So the practical session, what to do, how to do it, and I will tell you everything. Just I was trying to tell you this is the other way to fetch the agents dynamically. You can either go with the activity step or you can go with this rule step. So just it is dependent upon the workflow developer how it takes into. So he can either use the rule or he can use the activity step. So this function modules is like you can execute it explicitly and can see whether the data is whether you are getting the correct data or not. Also, let me tell you, this AC container, you can read this internal table with this read table command keyword of ABAP statement, or you can use the macros. So this macros, actually we don't use it, it has become obsolete, but I will show you both how to use the macros as well as how to use the simple ABAP statements. So this macros are available like SWC, get element, set element, and these macros are available in the include called CNT01. So this in this, when you go to this include in SCAT function, SCAT, you can see many macros are available. First, let me tell you here in this SWE template, this is provided by the SAP itself, and if you want to see a number of function modules are provided over here, you can just go through this. This is a template which is actually provided. Okay, just I'm sorry, this will be required once we discuss this event, this check function module. So which I was discussing about this rule, the template is actually provided what we should have in this table section. So what I have shown you in this function module here, let me go to this function module. Like whatever we are building for this rule, the function module should have this table section, these two particular fields. So it is just shown in the template that how you have to, what all mandatory parameters should be there. It is just available there. I have just forgot that particular function module, sorry, function group name. I will check that and will let you know tomorrow what was that function group name. This is actually for this events check function module. I will discuss this once I go through this events. So here we have one function module where we all the SAP standard template are provided by SAP. So through that you can just come to know what all mandatory fields are should be there. So I will check that and we'll let you know tomorrow. So in practical, we will be discussing tomorrow about this rule by responsibility as well as rule by function module. So any question till this rule? Don't worry about this rule because I have just started. Tomorrow I will discuss in detail. Yes, Rajesh?
About the roles part, we has just shown the thing. It is used in the real-time scenario roles part.
Yeah, I have told you, like suppose one manager role is created and the customer wants that the work item should be sent only to manager. So you don't have to do anything. If it is created one manager role in the company, you can just associate that role with that work, that particular step, that the dialog step. Then all the managers, all the user IDs who are possessing that particular role will receive that work item. So in real time we do use it, but it's just about the customer requirement. If they want, then you can use it.
For example, in our case that we are passing the level 1 and level 2. So if we are creating a roles in level 1, there are two IDs, Kumar and Priyanka IDs are there. So if we create a role for both the IDs, for the both IDs it will go, no?
Right.
Okay.
Yes, Ramana?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, like workflow, like can we use it in only like a transaction that are like PO or sales order like this, or is it used in like IDOCs, then something else like different.
What like you're trying to ask me whether we can use it in different system like CRM system and like that, or you are
Yeah,
asking
CRM
about...
and all, okay, I mean, okay, we can use it, but when technology, you can say technology like IDOCs.
Yeah, in
And
iDocs we are
like that,
having one like suppose are you familiar with iDocs?
knowledge I'm having, never worked, but yeah,
So
no
in
issue.
partner profiles you would have seen in WE20 we are having one agent assignment. You can see here in agent assignment here whatever in agent assignment you can see here in type you will giving US, and in whatever like whether you are having any error notification messages or whether anything happens with this iDoc, this agent whoever is associated here will receive the notification message that this error has got occurred in this iDoc while just transferring the data from one system to another. So whatever error message you receive, this agent will receive in the inbox. You just associate this agent in the partner profile, you will be receiving the notification message. So this is how we integrate with this workflow. Because we don't send it. This iDoc itself has one function module which is responsible to send the notification messages. It just fetch the IDs from this particular section and then send that notification to that ID. So you just need to maintain the ID over here in agents and the type will be US, and then you just see whether you are receiving the notification messages or not.
Okay.
Also, I
And
will show you in user exit how to interact with this. Suppose when sales order is created, as I have shown you, you can just try it out. Like I have shown you how to trigger the workflow from user exit, perhaps.
yeah.
So you can do there. What you can do, you can just see in that particular VBAC structure, we will be having some bookers, that company code. So what you can do it, you can just take that bookers and can populate in the container table and just start the right SW start workflow and pass that container value and just start the workflow. You can see how you can interact with the program itself, the application itself. So based on that company, you are just triggering the workflow and that user IDs are receiving the work items.
Okay. Then what is this guided procedures?
Guided? Where?
Hello. I mean, I don't know, like somewhere I read it. That's why I'm asking actually. Somewhere it is relating to workflow only.
Okay.
Guided procedures.
Guided procedures.
Actually, yes.
So where it is just I I'm just familiar with the name, but I just forget where it is. So where you have read it, or what? Just give me
Okay,
some
SDN only. I mean, okay, I'll tell you tomorrow with
guided
some more like
procedures. It's
details.
something like topic. It's not associated with workflow. Nowhere. It's something called topic.
Okay,
You
okay.
would have read the topic. It's nowhere, because
Yes.
everything I'm covering in this workflow, whatever we are having, agents, events, whatever the basic things, you can if you are knowing this, how to work with it, you can build any workflow. Means out of any requirement comes, you can
Okay.
build your workflow if you know this agent concept, this events, and how to start the workflow, as well as how to debug the workflow. These four things you should know, and your workflow is completed. You're ready to build any workflow. Okay, and these guided procedures, I think you have read the topic. It's not associated with this workflow.
Okay, okay. And second thing is like how we can transport this workflow. Like if you see, suppose something I transported for the first time, like for the first time, how we can transport it. Later, I did some changes in particular task or particular template.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I need to do individually only that respect to
Going
task.
to SE09, you can see here in the workbench. You will be having one, since I'm saving it in local object, but you will be saving it in
Yeah.
some package, so it will be captured in workbench. So whatever workflow you will be building, that will be captured as the workflow template. One workflow template field will be coming over here. I don't think here we are having, because I have saved every workflow in the local object. So here you will be receiving one workflow template. Below that you will be having the workflow number. So you can just transport this particular transport number. It will be getting transport to other system. Transport is no problem with this workflow, because it is similar to what we transport the ABAP objects. But yes, while debugging and troubleshooting section, I will tell you what all problems you face once the workflow is transported, because some configuration is client dependent. So going to each client, you will have to the things, the prerequisite workflow requirement, the configuration, and then the workflow will run successfully. The workflow will be transported, no problem with the workflow, but yes, some configuration is required, like suppose SWU3 configuration, and for that event, once we go through this event, many configuration is required for executing this event. So that I will be discussing about what you need to check. But this regarding transport, no problem. It is similar to what we do with ABAP objects.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
So any other questions? So about this rule in discussing tomorrow, both this rule by responsibility and rule by function module, these two. So till today, just try this example by yourself. It will be really helpful for you to understand the things, because once you build the workflow by yourself, then only you face the challenges and you come to know what went wrong. Then only you can ask questions. So just try it and let me know where you have faced the problems. Also, let me give you, I'm just giving you my mail ID. Okay, this is my new mail ID. Moving, just mail me. So this is my new mail ID. Note it down, and if you have any queries, just mail me down. So see you guys tomorrow.